Come gather round, people.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Hope you guys are having a great week so far. Sorry I haven't been posting these videos as often as I should. College is, well, college it takes, whatever. I just got back from an exam, I'm tired, so, yeah, so I felt like now that I have some time to, you know, I can finally make this video, which is my review of Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. Like I said in a few videos ago, I'm doing a Gundam marathon where I'm trying to watch every single Gundam series known to man. Yes, even the SD Gundam series, which I'm not really looking forward to watching, but I said I would watch all the Gundam series, and I meant what I said, to bring up Dr. Seuss. So, let's get started this review of Zeta Gundam. Well, not a lot of people know this, but the first Mobile Suit Gundam series was considered a failure by all respects and purposes. Like, it really didn't do well, it wasn't really successful commercially, and the reason why the series is only 42, well, technically 43 episodes, is because it got cut early. But what happened was, back in 1981, Yoshiyuki Tomino and the crew at Sunrise — Yoshiyuki Tomino is the creator of Gundam, I should have stated that in my last video, and they went and they redid the whole series into a trilogy, like a film trilogy. Added new scenes, new content, took care of some things, and it was a huge hit in Japan. So this renewed interest in the Gundam series, so they decide, hey, why not make another series? So they did in Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. Zeta Gundam is set in the year, it's still set in the Universal Century in the year 0087. Now, this is about 8 years after the 1-year war, obviously, if you know math. And what happened was the Federation, to prevent another Zeon uprising in the colonies, have created a group called the Titans, like a paramilitary group. What happens is that the Titans start becoming corrupt with power, and essentially start ruling the Federation, essentially, and start committing horrible acts of atrocities, like using toxic gas on millions of civilians, killing them, and and so the Federation is unable to do anything about it because they're weakened by the Titans. So what happens is that two resistance movements form as a result. You have the AEUG, which is the Anti-Earth Union group, which fights primarily in space. The AEUG is led by the former Zeon ace Char Aznable, who is under the alias of Quattro Bagina, and Bright Noa, who was the former commander of the White Base. While on Earth, you have Karaba, which is like the AEUG sister organization, led by Hayato Kobayashi. He was a member of the White Base in original Mobile Suit Gundam. He piloted the gun tank, quite possibly the most useless mobile suit next to the ball. And Amuro Ray, the protagonist from the previous Mobile Suit Gundam. So the story actually, instead of focusing on Amuro, it focuses on a new character called Kamille Bidan. And Kamille Bidan is the protagonist, and how it gets caught up in all this is that in the beginning of the series, the Titans are developing Gundam Mobile Suit, like 3 Gundams, like the Gundam Mark IIs. So what happened is, the AEUG decided to steal the Gundams. So during this, Kamille, while he's under arrest by the Titans, decides to go and steal the Gundams for the AEUG. And essentially he becomes involved in the war. After that, like, he becomes an official member of the AEUG, so decides to fight against the Titans. And the story of Zeta Gundam kind of chronicles not only the struggle between the AEUG and the Titans, but also Camille's emotional maturity. Like, Kamille starts as a highly unlikable protagonist. He is not my favorite protagonist. And he starts as highly unlikable, highly immature. He literally gets the shit beaten out of him every episode. Like, no kidding aside, like, someone always hits Kamille, like, no matter what. Like, for like the first 20 episodes, he just constantly gets, like, smacked, punched, kicked, you name it. Like, he just gets the shit kicked out of him because he's obnoxious. Not that I justify that, but that's just the logic of the series. And but as the series progresses, he kind of grows up and sort of becomes a leader among, like, the younger AEUG pilots that come along later in the series. And but even at this point, Kamille is still highly unlikable. Like, he is not really that great of a protagonist. Like, I don't know, I just wasn't too crazy about it. But yeah, the Zeta Gundam set several standards that is, have been used since in the Gundam franchise. One of them is that, the protagonist starts off with one Gundam, and then halfway through the series gets a much more powerful Gundam. In this case, Kamille starts off with the Gundam Mark II, which he steals in the beginning of the series, and then ends up with the Zeta Gundam, the namesake of the series, and a very powerful mobile suit. Another standard this sets up is the three-way conflict. As we've seen in like the Gundam Seed series, Gundam Wing, the three-way conflict has become extremely popular in the Gundam franchise, and Zeta Gundam sort of started that also. And see what happens is that later in the series, the remnants of Zeon, called Axis, are led by this woman Haman Khan, and they sort of just intervene in the battle between the AEUG and the Titans. And originally the AEUG and the Titans both tried to like win over Axis, but they just sort of become a third force in this party. While they don't play as much of a major role in this series, they will play a much major... This is sort of foreshadowing the role they're going to play in the next Gundam series, which I'm currently watching right now. Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta. Now, the whole this series, Zeta Gundam as a whole, is a lot darker than the original, like extremely dark. Yoshiyuki Tomino, again the creator of the Gundam series, got his famous nickname Kill 'Em All Tomino because of the series. Like, by the end of this series, over 75% of the main cast is killed off, with the vast majority of them dying in the last 10 episodes. Like, it's like the body count here is ridiculous. If you thought the body count in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows was bad, like this is, this takes the cake. And the ending itself is not a happy one either. Like, this is quite possibly the darkest Gundam series out there. Granted, I haven't watched Victory Gundam, which I've heard is probably I heard is way darker, but I'll get to that soon, hopefully. And yeah, like I said, the ending is not really happy either. Like, when you watch the Mobile Suit Gundam, when you watch the original Gundam series, you felt like the world after the series ended, you had a feeling, even though it didn't turn out to be the case, you felt that the series was going to be in a better, like the world was going to be in a better place now. And with this ending to Zeta Gundam, it isn't. You don't feel that. You don't feel that because of the actions of the main characters, the world is going to be in a better place. I mean, which doesn't, because then you have Double Zeta Gundam, but then again, I'll get to that later. So, yeah, like, the animation, let's talk about animation now. The animation of the series has vastly improved. Like, they really did so much better with the animation here. And the series has aged well over time. Now, what's really kind of impressive about the series is the music. Like, the original Mobile Suit Gundam series, the music was very, very campy, very retro, kind of gave it that kind of feel, but this series is like, the songs are epic. Like, these are like symphonic tracks that they're using. Like, these are excellent pieces of music that this series uses. Like, even the opening and closing songs are fantastic, But, just warning you guys, if you watch the English dub, which I really recommend you don't, unless you watch it on YouTube, the dubs don't have the original theme, opening and closing songs, because Sunrise at the time didn't have the rights when they made Zeta Gundam. So yeah, so just warning you there ahead of time. One of the other problems with the English dubs, like, while all the original Japanese seiyus, voice actors, they're all great, so no doubt about that. No need to really discuss that. They're all fantastic, obviously. The English dub is like mixed at best, I mean, as much as I complained about the original Gundam series having really so-so voice acting in the English dub, like, the problem is that Sunrise, when they gave the rights to Zeta Gundam to a completely different company. Like, so Brad Swale, Michael Kopsa, and all them don't. Brad Swale did the voice for Umbro, Michael Kopsa did the voice for Char, and so on and so forth. They don't reprise their roles in Zeta Gundam. Instead, you have like Tom Edwards, who does the voice of Char, and Matthew Erickson, who does the voice of Amuro. Matthew Erickson, if his voice sounds familiar to Gundam fans, he also did the voice of Shin Asuka in Gundam Seed Destiny. So it's kind of hard to get that out of your head. It's kind of a bit obnoxious, actually. Like, I mean, not so much with the newer characters, like the characters introduced to the series, because, like, okay, they weren't in the original series, so they have their own voices and stuff like that. But for the characters that appeared in the original series, and they had their voice actors, it's kind of difficult to grasp at first. It's different people, and it's really kind of obnoxious if you ask me. Like at first, I mean, and it's not that great either. Like to be honest, like you know, like but the only person who's probably as good as like is probably Tom Edwards, like the guy who does Char. Like he is like, you know, he's probably on par with Michael Kopsa. Michael Kopsa was one of the few people in the English dub that did fantastic in their roles as Char. So it's, you know, that's my only problem with it. Like, but overall, Zeta Gundam is vastly superior to the original in every way. Like, in terms of action, in terms of story, it's much longer. It has 50 episodes, so it feels more like it fleshed out. You know, like it's darker, it's more action-packed. It's a really great series. So, you know, if you have to choose to watch it between English and watching in Japanese, go for it in Japanese. Just please, like, you'll save yourself a lot of headaches. So, yeah, but my final score, I will give it a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect series, and I recommend you watch it. But first, you should probably watch Mobile Suit Gundam, the original, so you won't get confused. Alright guys, I will talk to you later. My next video will be the review of the first episode of Mortal Kombat Legacy, the online series. And I'll try to post it up as soon as I can. Alright, peace.